iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
Welcome to another episode of Growing Up Broadway, the world's first podcast for theater makers who are young or young at heart.
Today's show features film, television, and theater songwriters Elisa Samsel and Kate Anderson.
So help me, Sondheim.
So help me, Sondheim.
Growing up, yeah, we're growing up. Yeah, we're growing up Broadway.
Welcome to Growing Up Broadway. I'm your co-host, Timothy Allen McDonald.
I'm your other co-host, S.J. Arniger.
So SJ, you escaped to the woods, into the woods. It's time to go. You hated to leave. You had to, though. How?
Well, 112 days later, I finally went on vacation. I left my apartment. Mutual friends of ours, we went on vacation, and I have to say it was the best 5-day cabin retreat you could possibly imagine to just escape the monotony of my apartment in New York City.
I am so jealous, but also just so happy for you. It's just got to feel good to get out and see something other than what you've been looking at, right?
Well, and also the quiet and finally seeing friends. I mean, I haven't seen anybody, so it was definitely much needed, and I didn't want to come home, but here I am. We're doing another podcast, so we will all get through it.
Will we?
I'm going with positivity here. I mean, that's just the only way I'm going to get through this. I just positive thinking.
I keep hearing the phrase, the only way out is through, so.
I was pretty depressed yesterday, I'm not going to lie, with not being in a lovely, luxurious log cabin. But you just got to press on. What can I say?
Just like those nails, just press them on, right?
Press them on. How was your week?
Good. There's finally some momentum on plans for our JTFs worldwide, and that's exciting. I've been working behind the scenes basically since March 20th, trying to figure out, do we pivot? When do we do them? How do we do them? What size are they? And so we're going to be making some announcements at the end of July with some solid, really great, fun, interesting, shifting plans. And change them all each week until we do the festivals themselves. I'm really eager because the University of the University of Colorado study on singing, and also I think they call it elevated speaking in drama. That study is being released, I think, July 25th, and that is going to be the Bible from which we will all be beholden to for the next year. So I can't wait to get my hands on it and then figure out how to apply it to what we're doing and to what all of our teachers are doing. It's been a bad week because a lot of the groups who could open up and have in-person classes got shut down. They could do it legally, and then they were told they couldn't, which is a devastating economic and emotional loss. And I'm really worried about all of our JTF family and all of our theater family out there who are trying to do the right thing and just keep getting knocked back down. So if you're watching, I just say keep going. It's going to get better. It's got to get better. It'll probably get a little worse, then it's going to get a little bit better, but hang in there. We're trying to help.
Well, and again, we said it last week, please wear masks. It's it's a thing. Just do it, please. We will all get through it. It sucks, I know, but it's the only way right now to help prevent the spread of COVID and to just make sure that we can move on and start opening things back up.
Yeah, absolutely. Wear a mask, because if we can just do, New York has been a great example. We went through a long time, 110 days or something, where we were on absolute lockdown. And the city is nothing like it was still. People are not out there. For the most part, everyone is wearing masks. And if you don't wear a mask, you get the side eye.
Yep, or yelled at.
Or yelled at. I don't do yelling.
I have yelled.
But it's if there is a lot of infection going around, then you won't get exposed. The other thing I'm really just got to push out there that online theater is the way to go for now. And I know that people find it not as good. It's not as good as the real thing, but it's as close as we can. and you will not catch the virus, 100% guaranteed, and there are no masks required. We just need to do that probably until April of next year and just embrace it and go with it so that we can be safe, so that when it's time to gather, that comes as soon as possible. So a little patience now, and for the coming, at least 3 or 4 months is going to pay off big.
Yeah. Just have patience. I mean, like I said, we're all in this. We're all dealing with the suck factor of it. But as long as you're literally doing your part, helping to prevent the spread and understanding that this is not going to last forever, just do your part and be a decent human being right now.
I want the t-shirt, the suck factor.
The suck factor.
I need that t-shirt. And that would be like all of 2020 on the back.
The total suck factor, yes. So speaking of online musicals, how many Zoomsicles have you guys developed so far?
We're on our 5th.
Okay.
And we'll be releasing them as soon as we can. It's a great collection. It's, we started with the Big 1-0, and we have Flat Stanley, Elephant and Piggy, We Are in a Play, Dear Edwina, and our final one right now is Hans Christian Andersen with the score by Frank Loesser. So it's varied. We will be doing more in the fall, and I'm hoping to convince some folks to let us do some bigger titles. Maybe we can get Disney excited about it. But, adapting the shows so that they could be rehearsed and performed on Zoom just makes it so doable. And it really does. You've been at the recordings.
Mm-hmm.
It really does feel like you're a part of a live show. Because you
Absolutely.
So
I mean, it's online. It's not the same thing. But on the back end of it, you're giving students a chance to still perform. It's a new experience. It's a skill set that they can also say, look, I've done this. And just, I would say if you can embrace it, embrace it. I know there's been a little bit of backlash online with the online musicals and with like social media. So how are you guys combating all of that right now?
We're actually starting a PSA campaign that Stephen is leading, and Susie, where we're just going to talk about the fact that if you really want to support your local theater, and if you want a theater to be there in April or May when it's probably going to be safe, you have to support them now. You can't just wait because they're not going to make it. And the best way to do it is donations or to sign your kid up for an online class. Or if you're a kid watching this, take that online class. Do it, embrace it, because these are also skills that aren't going to go away. We're going to be online forever now. Work has been changed, life has been changed. So being good at this is going to be something that's going to pay off in the future. And it's also the only way to create theater safely.
Right. And like we said, if everyone has their patience, wears their masks, stays away from large crowds, again, we will all get back to what we love. You and I will be back in studio and not doing a video podcast anymore, as long as people can just adhere to the rules and restrictions.
Yeah, remember when we were fancy and we were in Ryan Seacrest's studio, like with those mics being like, hey.
This is the top 100 countdown.
Well, let's get our guests out here. I'm so excited. They're dear friends and collaborators.
Sure thing. I just got turned around in my script. So you know them from Olaf's Christmas, Between the Lines, and the new animated hit series for Apple TV, Central Park. Please welcome songwriters extraordinaire Elisa Samsel and Kate Anderson.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
So thanks for joining us today.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for
Thanks for
having
having
us.
us.
We're so excited.
So first question is, how are you all doing in quarantine right now?
Yeah, pretty good. I guess like the same as everybody else, just kind of trying to stay positive and, stay creative. And we're lucky because we are still working. We're forging ahead on season 2 of Central Park. So that's keeping us pretty busy and occupied and in a good way.
Yeah, we're just wearing our masks and trying to stay 6 feet apart from people and trying to help make the thing end quicker.
Yeah. We both got dogs too, so that helped.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I want to.
I didn't know you both got dogs.
Yes. We both rescued dogs.
I love that. Well, you gave us a lead in, so tell everyone about Central Park for those like who are living in a cave. Well, we're all living in caves, but
Yeah, so Central Park is an animated series on Apple TV, and it's from the minds of Lauren Bouchard, who created Bob's Burgers, and Josh Gad, who you know as Olaf, and from Book of Mormon, and a million other things, and it's a full-fledged musical. So every episode has 4 songs or so, and there's a guest artist on every episode too. So there's really cool people like Alan Menken wrote a song, and Sarah Bareilles, and Elisa and I are lucky enough to be the in-house songwriters.
And the coolest part to us is the fact that it's like putting together the Avengers of musical theater, because the cast is pretty much half of Frozen and half of Hamilton. So you've got Leslie Odom Jr., Daveed Diggs, Kristen Bell, Josh Gad, Catherine Hahn, and then Stanley Tucci. Oh, and Daveed Diggs. It's incredible. The cast is amazing.
Can I just tell you, Catherine Hahn is one of my all-time favorite comedic actresses. And every once in a while when she does something serious, I'm like, she's brilliant. I adore her.
She's also like, go ahead.
Yeah, she is a national treasure.
100%.
She's so fun. She's exactly what you would want her to be when you work with her. She's like the most excited person in the room, and it's unreal. It's the best.
And she totally had us all fooled, because she was, I don't know how it's going to be singing, and she acted like she couldn't sing. And then the first day that we recorded with her, she was singing a song called Mama's Got This, which you'll see in episode 3 of Central Park. And she just comes in with this perfect voice. It's energetic. Her pitch was perfect. All of the acting choices, genius. She's an incredible singer. It was so funny. She really fooled us.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, what is it like? What's the process like working on an animated series?
Well, this one has been sort of groundbreaking. It's TV's first true musical. And right from the beginning, Josh Gad said, I want this to be a musical. I want themes to come back. I want there to be reprises. I want the story to move forward in the songs, not just stop and, pause. We're going to sing a song here, and then the story continues. He was adamant about having this be TV's first true musical. So that was a brand new medium for us to sort of explore, and it's been a challenge. And Nora Smith and Lauren Bouchard and Josh Gad, as the 3 creators of the show, have really helped us hone a sort of structure that now we've got down pretty much. And we're in season 2, and I think we've got it down packed. It's really dependable now. Mm-hmm. And in the beginning, we were just doing our best to have Broadway mixed with pop, mixed with whatever the guest artists were bringing, and creating a whole new soundscape for a brand new TV show that still is true to the musical format that we all know and love from watching, our favorite plays on stage.
Yeah, it's really cool. We get to we get these amazing scripts that are so funny. They've got these song moments kind of described, and we sort of then dive in and do our thing, and there's a back and forth. And then what's really cool is that once we've sort of got this demo in place that everybody's happy with, the animators and the story artists go and they do something called an animatic. So we get to watch the whole episode sort of very roughly animated in just like black and white drawings, and see it come to life the way that they want it to be animated fully eventually. And that is, as somebody who, that's the coolest part, because we get to just see that like happen about a month after we've finished this song and see it come to life. So it's really fun. It's really fun.
Sounds really just so much fun and incredible, because also on animation you could do anything. It's not like stage where we're always like, well, how's that gonna happen, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
You've had a really a big like working relationship with Josh Gad. So how did that come to be?
Josh was, so we met him obviously doing Olaf's Frozen Adventure, which we wrote the songs for. And we knew we wanted to work with him again, obviously, because he was the funniest person on the planet and so gracious and kind, and also has this incredible producerial side to him where he just wants to create content and make movies and write scripts, and he's just brilliant. And then it's actually a really funny story. Kate tells it best.
Oh, so we had run into him a couple months before at a Lincoln Center concert that he was in, and he was like, I want to work with you guys on something. And we were like, okay, I hope that's true, but who knows if he's actually ever going to reach out again. And then I guess he forgot that he had our email because he messaged me on Instagram and was like, hey, I need to talk to you about something. And so I immediately texted Elisa and was like, what could this be? And we speculated the whole day until finally he got us on the phone and was like, I'm doing this series. It's with Lauren Bouchard, gave us the spiel, said who was attached to as the cast. And I called Elisa just flipping out, because it's essentially what do you do when somebody just calls you and says hey, here's your dream job, and are you interested? So then, yeah, we had to sit down and write this big opening number, sort of just all we really had was this is going to be about Central Park. So we wrote Central in My Heart, which is the first song and the first thing you hear in episode 1. And we knew we had to prove ourselves and show Lauren that we could do this and hang in. And so we tried our best, and it worked out.
So speaking of collaborations, you two have developed, a tolerable working relationship with my co-host here. What do you remember about the first time meeting Tim?
Oh, there were so many croissants. So we got to go to iTheatrics, and we were so nervous because it was all so new, and we had met Jody, but she wanted us to meet with Tim, and we felt so fresh out of the gate still, and Between the Lines was our first big job. And so we were nervous, and I think we were, doing our power poses outside iTheatrics.
I thought he punked us and was like, yeah, come to my office. And really we were just gotta walk into the Hudson River, because we were off the train being where is this? Okay, we're still not there.
I know that feeling very well.
Right. It's very close to the Hudson River. And then we walked in, and Tim had something set up on the balcony, not the balcony, but that backyard there. And we felt like princesses, because he was like, here's all the pastries you could ever want. And it was early morning, and I just remember we were so intimidated by you, Tim, because we wanted to impress you. And we knew your work from James and the Giant Peach, and we were huge fans of you. And so we were terrified. I think we were very shaky. And I don't remember if that's when you coined the term that finding 2 female songwriters in this business is like finding a unicorn. But I think you may have said that at the first meeting outside with croissants.
Yeah, you guys have always been my mythics, because I remember, because I got thrown into Between the Lines in a very odd way, very fast and quick way. And I remember meeting Jody, and Daryl Roth put us in a room off to the side to see if we could get along with each other. And, that didn't work.
It was the first writer's cage.
It was. If you're watching, Jody has a house, a cabin. Well, it's not a cabin, but it's a lake house. And there's this gazebo that is a part of the house, but it's also kind of like a cage.
Yeah.
And it has a door into the house, and that's it. And when she wants me to get stuff done, or any of us, she locks us in the writer's cage. You feel you're in the writer's cage.
And you just have to watch people having fun on the lake.
Right. You're totally screened in. And then through the screen, you just see the others who aren't working. They're on the lake, and they're paddle boarding, and laughter is wafting in, and you're trapped writing.
You're I gotta write this now. But
Probably
anyway.
the worst escape room ever.
So the 3 of you have two shows in development. So Between the Lines, which was scheduled to open this past May, but there are plans for it to be relaunched in spring 2021 potentially, and then The Book Thief to open next spring in the UK. So are there any updates on both those shows?
I mean, all we know about Between the Lines is spring 2021, and we all decided mutually to push The Book Thief back to the spring of 2022.
Yeah.
Which felt right. And I mean, my goodness, if we're not doing theater live by then the world's over anyway. So, but we'll be back and doing it. And it also gives us time, especially with that show, because we have a very specific point of view on it that is changing as the world is changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that project, our sort of motto in that project is choose love over hate. And I think with everything that's happening in the world right now, it'll be good for us to soak it all in and come up with an even more powerful message that we want to infuse into the show, so that when it does come out, we've all grown and learned from everything that's going on right now. And I think a lot of times art benefits from sort of stepping back, soaking it all in, and then having a deeper well from which to draw from when you go back and present your art.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be a cautionary tale, it'll be a reflection of what happened.
Yeah.
I do have to call SJ out because she is a Between the Lines super fan of sorts. And she did an interview with Ariel Jacobs. And let's just say that I think there's a restraining order involved, perhaps.
Who can't be? Ariel Jacobs is like, she's a walking princess. She's so perfect and beautiful and talented and kind and compassionate. And every time she sings, I just get chills all over my body. She's incredible. We're so fortunate that she's been our Delilah since one of the earlier readings. I mean, if she's out there, Ariel, thank you for sticking with us for this long.
She's one of the sweetest human beings, but I feel like I scared her a little bit with how much I love the show, because I was hosting this late night talk show for the Virtual Thespian Festival last week, and I was trying to get the kids excited about Between the Lines because that's what we were talking about. And I was like, you don't understand.
Thank you.
I wake up singing the songs. I have Best Day Ever stuck in my head at least once a week. Like, I was going on and on about how much people are going to enjoy this show. And she kind of just looked at me like, what is happening right now? So I think that I'm like a total super stalker fan of Between the Lines. So yeah, I'm basically now your paid hype man or woman for Between the Lines. So
that's great.
Thank you. We need you.
Yeah.
So the thespians all learned about Between the Lines. All 7,000 of them now know about Between the Lines, and hopefully follow you guys on social.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, we have gotten some new followers lately. That could be why.
There you go.
SJ?
It's
SJ, thank you.
person. So
You're hired.
So I don't think I've ever asked you two this, but was there an educator or a mentor or someone who really sort of got you on the path of the arts when you were younger?
Yeah. I had a lot. I mean, I started with classical training on violin and piano, and my violin teacher was so influential to me. And I know it's going to sound weird, but it's actually why I think I got turned on to musical theater, because I would learn these long pieces, because, you know, violin concertos can be like upwards of 5 minutes long and you're memorizing the entire thing. And I started with him when I was like 9 or 10, because he was my second teacher. I started when I was 6 with someone else. But when I got to him, he taught me how to memorize a piece by imagining a story throughout the entire piece. So each movement, each tempo change, each phrase within the music, I had to come up with a story, and I would imagine these like wild fantasies of and I would just invent stories while memorizing pieces, and that's sort of like what gave it emotion. And what I was doing, I guess, was like coming up with subtext and character and sort of scoring the emotion along with the piece. So I think that he he definitely taught me the power of linking music and storytelling. And I think that that's how I ended up loving musical theater so much and writing so much. So I would say for him, his name is Sunray Song, and he just retired from being the head of the violin department at Sarah Lawrence College.
What was his name?
Sunray Song.
That's a beautiful name.
I love that, Elisa.
I never shared that story.
You never have, and I'm like so moved, and it also makes so much sense. Like your music tells such a story that you write. It's always made my job so easy to put lyrics to it, and wow.
That was all Sunray. He taught me
that. For me, I'm 14 years younger than my older sister, Anderson Lopez, who wrote some various things you might have heard of, like Frozen and such. And she used to set my twin sister and I up in our little like baby seats and put on the entirety of Les Mis for us in our kitchen. And that's sort of like, I guess, the brainwashing that I underwent as a very, very young kid. And then, of course, she went away for college when I was 4 years old. And the way I felt like I stayed connected to her was we had these videos of her in her Charlotte Children's Theater productions. So I would watch Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which she was the narrator in. Like that was all Lindsay and I ever wanted to watch, was her in that. And we were just obsessed with, we became very, very obsessed with all these shows that she was in. We'd see her in, Secret Garden in years to come. And she did a bunch of like summer stock and apprenticeships and Jupiter, Florida. We always went and saw her shows. And I just thought like she was famous. Like my whole life, I was like, she's a star, and I would brag about her. And yeah, I think I just like, I wanted to be her in every way, like my whole life. I think I still do. So, and then, she started writing, and I was coming out of college freaking out about what I wanted to do. And, I've been acting and singing all through college, but I didn't feel like I had the gumption to go and start auditioning in New York. That just didn't feel like, I didn't think I could cut it, I guess. And so I was floundering, and she just kept saying, you're a writer, you have to do BMI, you have to do this workshop, where she started writing lyrics. And so finally, after a year in the city, that felt very like soul sucking and like, what am I doing with my life? I signed up or I auditioned and got in, and Elisa and we were paired together for our very first assignment. And it was just like total serendipity and weird. And we had this immediate, strange, eerie connection. And it was the best. And from then on out, I was just like, yep, that's the path. I'm on it. And I didn't mean to copy Kristen again, but it just happened. And, but I do feel like we forged our own path in a cool way. Doing Central Park and things like that feels like, we're sort of cutting our own trail now. And that's really neat.
Yeah, and when I met Kate, Kristen then became my idol as well. And I think we both try to be her in every way possible.
Same. I met Kristen and Bobby. Freddie Gershon took us to lunch. And Kristen was directing Once on This Island Junior.
Yeah.
At that time. And Bobby, I don't think Avenue Q was even... It was in workshops or whatever.
Yeah.
These are really amazing, incredibly talented, smart people who are going to change the world.
Mm-hmm. And they have, and they will continue to. It's incredible.
So each week we ask our guests to take this special musical theater quiz. It's usually Tim and I ask a bunch of random questions. It's the first thing that pops into your head. Could potentially win a brand new Mercedes Matchbox car.
Ooh.
But I honestly think we should mix it up a little bit today.
Are you going off book?
I mean, why not? It's like Corona time. We can do whatever, right? So let's see if there's someone else to ask questions this time.
The only person here is Dan Mertzloff, who's our Zoom master, which is fine, but like.
We made a wish that someone would appear. And I
Is
think
it?
Great. So let's get Dan. Dan, you good? You ready?
I mean, yeah, do you want me to like stick to the script? Because I don't really have one, but I can make up questions. Like,
yes!
Take it from here. We can take over.
We wanted it to be you guys.
Yeah.
Hi, Jeff. Hi, Jody.
We miss you.
We miss you more.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, hello.
So good to see your faces.
Hi, ladies. Surprise.
Surprise.
Best day ever.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Okay, so ladies, are you ready for this quiz?
Yes.
Okay, on your mark, get set, take it, Jody.
Favorite musical of all time?
Into the Woods.
Light in the Piazza.
Wow, great. Okay, funniest or most embarrassing moment you've ever had live on stage?
I was playing Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, and we were doing a preview for the high school before the show that night, and I was just like in my own world, totally like on a high, had just performed the Jitterbug, and it was time to do bows, and the wizard was out front talking to the audience, and I don't know why I thought we had to come through the curtain to bow rather than them us lining up. So I just started going through the curtain, and then suddenly it was just me and the wizard on stage, and the wizard and I, and he was like, "Hello, Dorothy." And I
Brilliant.
completely froze and didn't know why I did that. It was like so embarrassing.
Oh, that's priceless.
Ooh, I was playing Violet in Sideshow, and so those are Siamese twins, Violet and Daisy. And the girl playing Daisy and I would stand together, and our hips were attached, so we had to do dance moves and stay together the whole time. And in the middle of one dance break, we totally came apart. So we were no longer
No.
not so Siamese in that show.
That's great. Okay, if you guys could play any role, regardless of type, gender, age, whatever, what would you pick?
Ooh.
Literally anyone in Spring Awakening. Probably Vendla.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
I would like to be the man in chair in Drowsy Chaperone.
Yes.
Drowsy
Okay,
Chaperone, yeah.
great. Okay, next, who do you want to be when you grow up?
Jody go!
And Kristen Anderson, we already covered.
Yeah, we already said that.
You want to be Kristen.
What musical best reflects your mood today?
Oh, I don't have one. Okay. I'm just gonna say South Pacific.
Oh,
I don't know.
are you feeling?
Because I'm as corny as Kansas in August.
Aww.
I don't know.
I just got super excited and goofy, so I'm gonna go with the Producers.
That's goofy. All right, if you could see any live theater show in a theater right now, what would it be?
Ooh, maybe Sunday in the Park with George. I've never seen it.
Oh,
And the painting behind you, Jeff, makes me think of it.
My godson did that. Dylan.
Wow.
Yeah.
oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, he's really talented. Yep.
I
Dylan
love
Vandenhoek.
that.
Sunday in
I
the
would-
Park is masterful. I love that.
Yeah, I remember laughing more than I have ever laughed when I saw Something Rotten with you and Jody and Kate. So I would take me back to that. I just want to be laughing in a theater with the people I love the most, and just great energy coming from the stage and people surrounding you, and you can feel when the audience is laughing. I want that.
Me too, man. Ooh.
You know what? I have to say, I think Act 1 of that show was the most I heard people laugh in a theater in a long time.
Yeah.
And then Katie in Sunday in the Park, I'm sorry you didn't get to see it, but I don't know if you've seen it at Lincoln Center, but when Bernadette's dress popped open and she stepped out and did the number and then went back, oh, it was just
That's how my voice
breathtaking.
teacher used to describe how I should sing. I remember she'd be like, you have to open your diaphragm and your ribs as if the dress in Sunday in the Park would join. I've had no reference for it ever because I've never seen it. But
Yeah, it's iconic. It's just so many iconic moments in that show. And Sarna Lapine also did a beautiful revival of that as well.
It's on DVD, Kate. You can watch that. There's a DVD of it, of the Lincoln Center performance.
Yeah, I should dig it up.
Of the original, of Bernadette?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I used to watch it on repeat.
Next question, ladies. Weber, Sondheim, or Lopez and Anderson Lopez?
Oh, come on.
That's so mean.
In every now and then. So answer as you will.
Anderson Lopez.
Yeah, Anderson Lopez.
We are loyal. We are loyalists.
Honestly, everything I hear, I'm never not blown away by what they write.
I know. They're genius. They should be their own group of Mensa. Mensa Anderson Lopez.
How much fun was this?
Oh,
Old times.
Hello.
thank you for that surprise. We were hoping.
We just had to.
We were hoping for that. Kate texted me right before this and she said, I hope Jody and Jeff are going to be on it.
I wasn't sure we were going to pull it off when I saw the script, but it worked.
Thank you. This whole thing just made my day.
Yes, me too.
Well, we love seeing you even from afar.
I know. I wish
I
we could
love just seeing Kate crawl under the curtain like for a bow. I just think that's priceless. That's very good. I love
This
that.
day,
story.
I can't erase that from my memory. I wish I could.
Didn't you put peanut butter on the neck too so Toto would lick you?
No.
Oh, Jody said that.
I did
Yeah.
that. I directed Annie at a middle school, and we had
Yes.
a dog that was a puppy. That our original dog died in the middle of rehearsals. And then it was
Yeah,
my-
allergic to peanut butter.
No. The puppy didn't know how to behave, so we put peanut butter on Annie's neck, and while she sang Tomorrow, it just kept licking her neck.
Oh, during Annie. Oh, okay. So Sandy.
My Toto kept running out into the audience, and I would have to chase after it and be like, "Oh, Toto! Oh no! Oh, come back here, you!" And in character in the audience is just laughing.
Oh, that's hysterical.
I will top that and say I played Toto when I was a kid, so I will just leave it there.
Did you run out into the audience?
No, but it was like the worst costume in the world. It was like full
Did they put
on.
peanut butter on her neck for you.
I was well behaved, though. I will say that.
Aww.
In an early production of Annie Jr., where Sandy, let's just say he had some amorous feelings towards Annie live on stage.
Oh boy.
That's funny.
The sun did come up tomorrow.
That's funny.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Well, this has been so much fun, you guys. Jeff and Jody, thanks for being good sports and surprising Kate and Elisa. I just have one thing, and the answer of the show that you want to see when we can gather is Between the Lines, people.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it wrong.
Yeah.
We got it wrong.
No, there's no wrong.
Oh no, that was wrong. That was wrong. Thanks, Tim. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us. We'll talk to everyone soon.
Okay.
Bye, Estelle.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, everybody.
So that's our show. I just want to give a couple updates if you don't mind. So Saturday matinee this Saturday, it's the best of our Saturday matinees thus far. So literally every show we've had It's going to be like a 2.5-hour program starting at 2 p.m. on iHeartRadio Broadway and iHeartRadioBroadway.com. Hadestown, Jagged Little Pill, Moulin Rouge, all the Disney shows, Ain't Too Proud, you name it, we're doing it.
Hanson.
Dear Evan Hansen, Be More Chill. But also, after I get off this, I'm going to interview Bernadette Peters, because on Friday, we are live streaming the 2009 Bernadette Peters Minskoff Theater concert for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. It's a never-before-seen online concert. She and Michael Urie have also recorded a new beginning, intermission, and end with interviews between the two of them. It's at 8 p.m. on iHeartRadioBroadway.com. We're doing it for Broadway Cares along with Playbill and Broadway Cares as well. So tune in. I promise you it's going to be a truly, truly, truly wonderful, wonderful concert that you've never seen before.
Wait. Giving that tune in again, because I heard Bernadette Peters, to the concert and what was going on, and then I was like, what, when?
This Friday at July 10th. It's my birthday. It's the birthday present to myself. 8 p.m. on iHeartRadioBroadway.com.
Amazing. I will be there.
Perfect. What's on tap for you this week?
We're in online, our Zoomsicles. So we're starting to wind that down. We started a new one, Hans Christian Andersen, this week. And then we conclude that programming next week. And then we are focusing on JTF all the time. So
amazing. Well, that's today's episode of Growing Up Broadway. I'm your co-host, S.J. Arniger.
And I'm your other co-host, Timothy Allen McDonald.
We will see you next week.
Yes. Now go out there and make the world a better place, one musical at a time.
May the Schwartz be with you.
And also with you.
Growing up, growing up, growing up, Broadway, growing up, Broadway.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.